Poker is a game of cards. At least, that's how the average person might explain it. In fact, poker is a game of betting played with cards, or a game of cards played with people, or a game of people played with cards. There's one thing we can agree on, and this video will accentuate that. Here are 5 reasons why poker is absolutely one of the games of all time. Number 1, an unpredictable dynamic. Poker is vast, complex, and unpredictable. There's always more to learn, and you never quite know what will happen in a hand. In fact, there are spots where you could ask all your poker shark friends, ask poker solvers, ask the best poker players in the world what you should do in a particular situation, follow their advice, and still take a bad beat and lose. Some people criticize voting systems like the Electoral College, which make it so that the candidate with the most votes still does not necessarily earn the position. They make the analogy and ask, what kind of game can you play your absolute best and still have a chance of losing? Well, look no further. This quality also makes it difficult for you to know if you're playing well or not, because you can do the right thing and still lose, or vice versa, which makes it tricky to learn and improve, especially as a beginner, which is a really interesting feature for a skill game. Number 2, patience is a virtue. In No Limit Texas Hold'em, to play poker well, you should be playing around under 20% of starting hands. Some of those hands you decide to play, you will still fold before the end of it, which means that at the theoretical best, you're playing 20% of the time. So when you are playing poker, the vast majority of the time you are not playing poker. Because of this, as well as the variance mentioned in point 1, playing long sessions is often encouraged. You can even play for like 8 hours, which is obviously a reasonable amount of time to do something where you're barely moving. These aspects make it so that people find poker, especially live poker, the original and purest form, to be extremely rewarding with patience, which is a great way to describe your favorite hobby. Because of this, people often do random other stuff while playing poker, or might even multi-table online, meaning playing multiple games of poker at once. What other kind of sport can you think of where the level of engagement is such so that you're not fulfilled enough with one instance of the game, but instead need to play multiple to satisfy your passion? Number 3, the thrill of victory and the poverty of defeat. Most games have some scoring system that has no conversion to anything outside of the game, but not poker. You gotta use straight cash for that, also known as your hard-earned capital savings to support your own well-being. You can try playing with fake money, but it won't really work. Poker players know that the game requires that added spice, the added risk and thrill of going home with a higher or lesser capacity to attend to your Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Beloved poker ambassador Alec Torelli once said,
poker's really like an equalizer where like it's a melting pot, like where people could come from all over different economic backgrounds and play in the same game. That's super cool.
which is absolutely right. All you need is the money to play with, the money to rebuy with, the money to rebuy with again, and the money to pay for gambling addiction treatment. Number 4, competitive spirit. In most games, it's encouraged to play against people at your level, or even better than you. This makes it so you're pushed to your limits, have to play your best, and can learn and improve. Yet again, poker stands out. In poker, that is a negative EV move, and because of point 3, it will have a negative impact on your life. Instead, you should go out of your way to avoid strong players and find weaker players you can play with. Not only that, but it is frowned upon to tap the tank, roughly meaning to help weaker players get better, which again speaks to the fierce competitive environment that is the poker scene. 5, community diversity. Poker is comprised of a diverse group of individuals that other groups might lack. Doyle Brunson, the godfather of poker, wrote in his book Super System, it has something for everybody: the mathematicians and psychologists, the loose gooses and the hard rocks. This list is not exhaustive, obviously, as he doesn't mention the scammers, degenerate gamblers, and outright scumbags. Google any poker player, and you'll likely find a couple of dubious situations they were once involved with. In a lot of communities, the most well-known people are also the most cherished and respected. You might have some die-hard cult fans for a particular person, player, or team, and maybe you have rival teams or fans that have friendly beef and dislike each other. In poker, everyone mostly seems to just hate everyone. Whether it's a cheating or money stealing scandal, some heads-up grudge match, or just being obnoxious at the table, there is always a reasonable, constructively critical conversation going on about public figures in the poker community. Hope you enjoyed this explanation of poker and that it made you more interested in the game. Feel free to buy my $5,000 online course on how to crush live 1-2.